I swear these other podcasts is just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind. I swear these other podcasts is just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind. Yeah.
And at first, I wasn't really into that book at all. But now, Nick, I can't put it down.
Why is that?
Oh, you missed the joke. You weren't listening to it.
No.
It's a book on Stockholm Syndrome. That was the joke. Welcome to the Change My Mind podcast, episode 2, ladies and gentlemen.
You're telling a joke that requires some level of thinking when I'm trying to make sure I get the sound right.
It's called a cold open. It's what professionals do.
Oh, is it? Oh, you know
yes.
what? Yeah, that's right. That's fair enough. Okay. You're right. You're 100% spot on there, Wes. Good point.
Episode 2, Change My Mind podcast. They allowed us back on air.
I'm surprised.
And back over the all the mediums that you can listen us to. For episode?
Yes, we have.
Listen us to.
Yeah. I thought we were going to list that stuff all the way at the end of the show.
Well, we will, but I'm just saying they're letting us back for episode number 2.
Right, and Geeks Worldwide is happy to still have us on as well. We're on SoundCloud for them and their iTunes, and we have plenty of other places that you can listen to us now. But a reminder, you can only watch us on WBSM's YouTube channel. You can see us live, or you can watch it when it goes up in, I guess, pod video form or whatever. Yeah, which will be probably tomorrow, you know, like that'll be a good time. Yep.
You know, while you're driving, maybe have something up on the rear view cam.
And if you're new to the show, just so you have an idea, we talk about what's going on in terms of the geeky world, whether it's comics, movies, TV shows, conspiracy theories, not some conspiracy theories in general.
Yeah, well, maybe a splash. Like a sprinkle.
Okay. But we addressed the news early on in the show, but the idea of this podcast, and I think, and Wes agrees with me, I believe, that to any successful podcast, you can listen to our main items anytime.
Right.
So we talked about spoilers versus non-spoilers last time. Wes was in the spoiler party, and you'll find out that he already spoiled something for me, apparently, in show prep. But you can listen to that anytime. So if you're late to the show, if you're just starting up with us, you can go back and listen to that. And guess what? We take care of you guys because we care about our listeners. We have a whole episode breakdown in terms of the times. Was it timestamps, right?
Yeah, we put a timestamp on it. But these episodes are evergreens, if you will.
Yes.
At least the first one was. This one, you know, it'll be a little bit different, but I think for everyone who is currently watching or is about to watch or has it queued up in their Netflix, we're going to be covering Punisher Season 2.
Yeah.
Maybe some things that we like, some things we didn't like, but I think it mostly is going to be a character breakdown.
Right, but it's timely now, but I mean, you can go back and listen to this anytime. I know when I started listening to,
whenever you watch the movie.
Right, well, when I started listening to Mac and Goo, when I started listening to that podcast, I was very tardy to the Mac and Goo party.
Yes.
And I went back and listened to their Justice League episode.
Right.
Because I was enjoying their content. I had seen the movie. I wanted to go listen to it. The beauty of The Punisher is it will go away eventually. You guys better make sure you go watch it.
Right. Probably within a year, I would say.
Yeah, something like that.
If not less.
I think this year is the last year. I'm not certain about it, but
you want me to turn the mic up here? There we go. Get it right up close to it.
Eat that mic.
Yeah.
But first, before we get into our main topic today, we got to touch on the news, everything that's going on this week. Where did you want to start today, Wes?
Well, I think, it just dropped today. I think it's the Birds of Prey teaser that's been released.
Yes.
And according to Wikipedia, this movie is called Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
There's no way that's the full title.
That's Wikipedia.
That's probably the work. There's no way. It's got to be the working title. I don't know. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But we know that Huntress is in it. We know that Black Canary's in it. We know Black Mask is played by Ewan McGregor.
Yep.
How do you feel having seen Margot Robbie again as Harley Quinn in the light teaser, I guess we can call it.
It's like a little bit of like a music video, I guess. Harley Quinn was the only person I could really pick up out of it. I didn't recognize any of the other actresses or any other quick shots of anyone there. But it's really just gonna revive the whole slutty Harley Quinn Halloween costume thing. So if that's something that you're into,
I think that we're going to see Black Canary take over that department because she's got a little bit of a simpler look. I don't think hers is, and it's subtle too. Like,
and a canary is yellow, if I'm not mistaken. So that's factually incorrect, right?
Well, it's Black Canary. I mean, she's black
and yellow.
She's dressed in
from
black,
Pittsburgh,
and she has blonde hair.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Patience.
I get it.
Yeah, I was going to explain it to you there. If you just waited like 2 seconds.
Sorry, I know. You know how I feel about spoilers.
Yeah,
though, you know?
I'll tell you this. I am very excited for Black Canary and Huntress. Look, I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She's good. She's entertaining. I think she does the character justice. But I think that Black Canary is an awesome character that we got a taste of. Actually, her and Huntress in Arrow. I was off and on with that show, but I did like Huntress when she was in there. I still haven't finished the show because it was just a point in it where there's a huge lull. But Black Canary in the comics with Green Arrow, she makes that series immensely better. Green Arrow's good, but he gets a little too political at times for me. She kind of keeps it more like, this is a character thing with you, dude, not so much the politics stuff. So I'm very excited to see those two, or her and Huntress, on screen.
Yeah, I'm just not into it. You know, this is set to come out February of 2020. You know, it's set after the events of Suicide Squad, so the film is kind of following, or supposedly following, Harley Quinn as she joins forces with the Black Canary, Huntress, and Renee Montoya to save Cassidy Kane from Gotham City crime lord Black Mask. So, you know, if Suicide Squad is any basis for what this movie is going to be, it's going to be sloppily put together. The characters aren't going to be fleshed out.
That's not going to happen.
And they're just going to have, like, Rick Ross and Lil Wayne drop a great song with Skrillex, and they're like, how many buzzworthy names can we put together in here to, like, sell, like, multi-million dollars worth of ticket sales?
There's no way they're making that mistake again. Look what happened with Aquaman. They've clearly learned. They went and passed up the Dark Knight Rises.
Is that a good movie, though? Or is that just because people are in a span right now in the course of the year where there's a lack of superhero movies
I'll tell
available?
you what, if Jason Momoa does not capitalize on this, he's already doing a good job of marketing himself and, you know, kind of he's not dynamic as an actor, I don't think, but he's dynamic in the movies that he can be in, I guess.
Yeah, he's got some star power to him.
Oh, he definitely has star power. You got to take advantage of that right now. He is the guy right now. He's
and with those pecs,
savage.
Jeez.
And that beard too.
Oh man.
Tim did not appreciate last time how we were very complimentary of our male actors that we discussed in the course of the show.
I thought we were just complimenting them.
That's just what it is. We are very comfortable with ourselves, and there's nothing wrong with talking about how guys' biceps are
male, female. We commented on them both. So if I say someone has a nice set of legs,
yes,
it's going to make you think twice whether I'm talking about a guy or a girl. You got to focus on the pronouns.
Yeah, we know based on the way you talked about Wonder Woman last time, you only focused on her physical appearance.
No, I think that's what the movie skewed me to.
No,
yes.
no.
There was a lot of upward craning shots with her short skirt on.
That is something that we will, thank God, I mean, it was on at least every time. We will touch on that, I'm sure, at some point. That will be an episode. But what else do you got? You're telling me something about the Dark Phoenix before the show.
Dark Phoenix movie news. So this is quickly falling in the category of your favorite movie that may or may not be made in Gambit.
Yeah, it's never going to happen.
So this has been pushed off a couple of times right now. So let me see if I can get my notes right here. So it had a release date originally last March. And then it got pushed back to this past November. And then once again to this coming February. And now finally, at the moment, it's supposed to release in June of this year.
This year, June. No shot.
But today, there was reports coming out all over the web, all over the interwebs there, that they had their third test screening of the movie. And it's the third time that it's bombed. It's getting compared to Fantastic Four. That level of bad, like the Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan.
Okay, there's no way it's that bad.
That's what they're saying.
In fairness, I did not see that one because I refused to.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah.
Because you know why? It
had good roots.
Here's my first real hot take of the show, because everything else I've said so far has been pretty well thought out, pretty fair. Actually, you know what? This is fair too. The Fantastic Four sucks. All four. Look, I like the thing.
It just hasn't been done right.
They suck. I kind of like the
from
thing.
the comic books too, and like the TV series. The TV series was good.
TV series, I couldn't watch it. I told you I wasn't a big Spider-Man guy, but I liked the show a lot. Like, I do like Spider-Man, but he's not in my top 10 characters.
But you don't get Richard Reed in there, then you don't get the Illuminatis.
He's the worst.
Oh no, I think he's great.
Mr. Fantastic is the most overrated or whatever character ever. He's what his power is that he's super stretchy. Yeah, I understand how that might be useful for a guy here and there, but other than that,
here and there, that's a game changer for a lot of people, Nick.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that's it. That's all he brings to the table. I'm not watching him for that.
He's one of the leading minds in the world.
Yeah, I understand that he's supposed to be one of the smartest ever, right? And then he and what is his wife's name? Sue?
Sue
right?
Storm.
Sue Storm. They end up having a kid.
The Invisible Woman.
That's Franklin Richards, I believe, and he's like the most powerful mutant ever or something like that.
I believe that's right, yeah.
They're not interesting characters. Reed Richards is boring. His powers are boring. He's condescending too, and I don't care for that. Like, he's not condescending and funny, whereas Tony Stark.
Well, we're talking about the Dark Phoenix, and I appreciate your vile that you're spewing right now about, because let's face it, Fantastic Four. It's easy to kick them when they're down.
I'm disappointed about Dark Phoenix,
but you're missing out on a great villain in Doctor Doom, who has a lot of crossover appeal.
Yeah, you know what? My brother has always said to me, Doctor Doom's the best villain there is. I've never.
I think he rivals Magneto.
Magneto's the best.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, he's great.
It's him, and it's the Joker for the two greatest comic book villains. But at the same time, Magneto's not really a villain. He's not an anti. I wouldn't call him an anti-hero.
He's like an anti-hero, though.
But he's kind of like I would say more
like nemesis, a pest.
No, I would say an anti-villain. If I was really going to be.
Oh, now you're really kind of creating some lingo there.
Yeah, I think that he's a villain in some regards, but he's doing it for the right reasons. Like some would argue Thanos is, but that's just absolutely ridiculous because we all saw Thanos kill Heimdall and snap Loki's neck, although Loki's not really dead.
Now,
anyways,
this Dark Phoenix movie, it's supposed to be the 12th installment of the X-Men series, which is kind of crazy to think. Which is I don't think including like the Wolverine offshoots. It may or may not be. I'm not sure about that.
I don't know.
But this is building off of X-Men Apocalypse.
It's got to be.
Which was awful. But it's returning the whole cast. Everyone's there.
That's not as bad
Jennifer
as
Lawrence, Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, Nicholas Hoult, Sophie Turner, Ty Sheridan. Like, they're all there. Mm-hmm. How bad could this movie be?
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't like what they've done with Mystique. I understand Jennifer Lawrence is a good character, but turning her into kind of a hero in some ways. I know they
and she's mailing it in big time.
Yes, that's the other thing. I'm not a huge fan of the way they've handled her, but at the same time, I love how they've propped up Michael Fassbender. He's absolutely the best character and done the best acting job in the course of it all. But how do you screw up the X-Men so badly?
It's so easy. The source material's all there. You can pick and choose. You can go to the comics. You can go to the animated series. Like, you really have your options.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, look, my favorite character is still a DC character, but they're the absolute best group. No questions asked. Like, Avengers, not even remotely close on the same level.
No, for me growing up, it was the X-Men animated series. It was the X-Men video games. Like, I wanted the yellow suit. I wanted the claws. Like, my occupation of choice for growing up as a child was Wolverine.
Yes, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it was a big part of it.
100%. I loved baseball as a kid, but I remember specifically telling my dad, you know what, Dad? If I had the choice between being a baseball player or being Wolverine, I think I'd take Wolverine.
Yeah, and then you could actually be a baseball player at that point. You never get injured. You never go on the DL.
Yes, absolutely.
You could just like throw complete game after complete game after complete game.
And drop absolute tanks, too.
And then maybe actually figure out how to throw the gyro ball.
Yes.
Because I still have yet to see that. But that's talking baseball.
Yeah, that is our sports segment for the show. But anyways, any other thoughts on Dark Phoenix?
No, it's supposed to have. They've had supposedly $200 million worth of reshoots. So I'm not sure how much money.
Are you kidding me?
That's what this article I was looking at said.
Money ain't nothing but a thing. Holy hell!
But if all these movies, like if Aquaman's making $1 billion, then what's $200 million?
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess if it's going to do that well, but
it's not going to do that well.
The early signs are that it's not going to do that well.
I mean, you can't. I just don't think you can. Never mind that you put out a good movie. Just with what happened with the X-Men Apocalypse, I didn't think X-Men Apocalypse was that bad.
It was bad. Apocalypse was one of my favorite in the animated series. Was one of my favorite little like mini subplots throughout the series. It was so good. It was awesome. It was great. And I really feared Apocalypse. And this guy was like, I could just pick him up and put him in my pocket. He's like a tiny little fella.
They did make him too tiny. It's the guy who plays Poe from Star Wars. He's a good actor.
His name. Yeah, he's a good actor.
Oscar.
Yeah, there we go.
Oscar Isaac, yes.
You never trust a man with two first names. James Bond taught me that.
Unless his name's Ricky Bobby, who is the best Will Ferrell character ever.
Now, is Bobby his last name?
Yes. How do you not know that?
I don't know. I just thought he was Ricky Bobby, like Ricky Bobby Smith.
No, his name's Ricky Bobby. His last name is Bobby. His dad's name is Reese Bobby.
Ricky Bobby was like a Cher thing. Like he was just like a one-name type of guy.
So, but that would be 2 names. So it's Ricky. It's all like
well, you
no
can
space.
have friends like I have
hyphen?
a friend. I know a couple people named John Michael.
Okay, yeah.
Or like Anne Marie or something. So I thought it was something like that, but it was still like a one name, like a Beyonce.
Who would name their kid Ricky Bobby and that be their first name?
I thought that was the joke. I thought that was the joke.
I think the joke was that he's
but it's a little
like a
funnier
redneck.
now, though,
It is funnier that way. I'll give you that. Now you kind of spoiled something for me before the show, and I'm still
staying true to form here.
I'm still stunned that you said it to me. It took
I
me
was
a second.
wondering to see if you were paying attention because some of the other stuff wasn't. Then you kind of looked up at me in shock, and it kind of gave me that. Oh,
I heard it like in and out because I was trying to figure out what my like last point of the show was going to be because I was. My mind's going like every which way before the show, but you brought up some interesting stuff about Avengers. Now, I will say this. These are Nick-approved spoilers, so they're safe. They're not anything crazy. I think one of them is like ridiculously obvious, and one of them, Wes, you said, is already kind of
confirmed.
Okay, you call him Kevin Feige. I thought it was Feige.
No, it's Feige.
It's like
Feige.
100%.
Like beige? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess it's spelled the same way. Except
it's not that ridiculous.
No, it's Feige.
It's 100. Like you've heard people call him that.
I've heard people say that.
Not in podcast world. Like I'm talking. Like okay.
No. Like the real deal Holyfield.
Go ahead. Lay it on me. What you got?
Okay. So the first one you might think that. So this comes from a YouTuber, Cosmic Warren 13, on this supposed plot leak of Avengers Endgame, where he heard this from a like high up marketing guy who was involved with the movie apparently. So if you believe that this movie is going to involve time travel, which I think a lot of people do. They are using the butterfly effect, if you will, where the events of the past, when they go back and change it, is going to alter the future in different ways.
See, now I think everybody knows why I approved this one. What else would happen? That's butterfly effect it always is in play when time travel.
Well, I think there's a couple different things you can do, and I'm not much of a Stargate, Star Trek type of guy, but I'm sure you can talk about multiple planes of consciousness or whatever, and there's different ramifications depending on what you decide to. But that's that. The other one was that there was this reference that in the plot week that they will need any and all available heroes to fight. Now, Kevin Feige has apparently already confirmed that there will be new heroes introduced from the comics that haven't been in the MCU yet, which leads me to believe, or leads me to ask, who would you want to see that you haven't seen in the MCU?
Okay, well, the first one, no questions asked, would be Wolverine. It's not going to happen, unfortunately, because I remember seeing this on Screen Rant, I believe, the other day, who I now write for, that
that's a subtle little humble brag.
I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that.
Yep.
That is, I think, relevant to the show.
I think so. I think absolutely. That's a round of applause, if you will.
All right. Now you're making it weird. And yeah, that round of applause, very, very well played.
There we go. It picks up more in the video than the audio there.
Yes, yeah, it definitely. What was I about to say?
I was clapping in a circle. That's what I was doing. Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up. I saw that they can't even be discussing the X-Men right now.
Right.
Yeah, but that's who I'd want to see right away. I mean, whether it's Magneto, Wolverine, Deadpool. That's what I want.
Deadpool was on my list.
Oh, you got a list?
Yeah, well, I had a couple. It was Deadpool, it was Wolverine, but only as Hugh Jackman. Like, I don't want some broke-ass Wolverine entering the system here. And then Netflix Defenders. Maybe this is finally the opportunity where you get some boots on the ground.
Yeah, Luke Cage. Need Luke Cage.
Iron Fist can do some damage.
Yes,
he's got the mystic cosmic thing going on.
Oh, I think Tim wants to hop in. Hold up 1 second. Tim, you are mic 4, correct? All right, give me 1 second and go ahead, Tim.
Right, but you don't have to put me on the mic. I just was going to ask, is Silver Surfer part of that Fantastic Four deal?
Oh, yes, he is.
Oh, yes.
So they technically Fox still owns the rights to Silver Surfer too.
Right,
but that falls under like the Adam Warlock storyline, I believe, which they're going to be holding off to after this movie and delving more into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's where they kind of Silver Surfer and Adam Warlock have some sort of cross existence in the comic book world. I think
Silver Surfer falls under the umbrella of you can't touch him yet because he's a former Fox guy, just like the X-Men.
But also Fantastic Four, we brought this up before. Like that could be an interesting fold in.
It couldn't. They're not interesting at all. They're brutal.
No, because then you have Reed Richards introducing to the Illuminati, where you already have the Black Panther, you have Doctor Strange, and you have Iron Man.
We don't need Reed Richards. He's not, Tim, I have your mic on. I'm going to give you this last second. Do you like Reed Richards?
No, I can't stand any of the Fantastic Four.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I guess you just don't like America then.
What does that have to do with America?
Okay, it's what I say goes. Okay, all right, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. You have no leg to stand on because he's a boring character. He thinks he's so smart, but he's not even remotely dynamic. I get. I'm sorry, he's not even remotely dynamic, and he has a brutal power too. That's the other thing. Like,
he can stretch.
Tony
He's
Stark
elastic.
Is complicated. He hates himself. Oh, no, go ahead, Tim. I can't hear you when I don't have your mic on. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, he's basically Plastic Man without the sense of humor.
Exactly.
Well, Plastic Man. Okay,
I was holding on the Plastic Man card, and I think Plastic Man is brutal too. That's another one I have no time for.
Yeah. Okay. Well, isn't James Franco supposed to be playing Plastic Man?
No, that's Multiple Man.
Multiple Man.
Plastic Man's a DC guy.
Okay.
That's a guy you haven't seen yet on screen, so that's why you don't know who he is, but that's okay.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Yes.
You're putting me down because you read books with pictures. I get that.
That is important to note that there are pictures in my book.
Those Picto books that you read so much. Huh? You're going to really lord over me on that one. Jackass.
I would say that that the X-Men characters are the ones that I want to see right now first. In terms of, I think you made a really good call on the Marvel Netflix ones. And Luke Cage, the whole
maybe that's the opportunity, right?
The whole thing that I've heard with these characters leading up to now, at least, was they can't be in the actual MCU because they're not. They couldn't hang. Like,
right.
I can get it with Elektra and Daredevil to an extent, but what is Black Widow? What is Hawkeye? I mean,
yeah, exactly. They're essentially the same. They're boots on the ground. They're extra, extra people.
But Luke Cage
can do some damage.
Iron Fist could, but I mean, Iron Fist season 2, Iron Fist. He's learned, but he was brutal in the first season. But Iron Fist could do some damage. I think Punisher, to some extent, if Punisher can.
The Punisher teamed up with Rocket Raccoon and/or Winter Soldier. The type of machinery that they would be able to put together. Mm-hmm. With their, military background and expertise. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, it would be great stuff.
All right. I think looking at the time, it's time for us to get on to the Comic Minute. We have your Stay Woke of the Week as well. We'll start off with my comic thing first. So one of the titles that I'm reading right now is The Silencer by DC Comics. Okay. She's part of the New Age of Heroes, DC's initiative that's almost completely gone after a year. They started with six. They started with 6 or 7 titles. I think there are 2 left. The Silencer is one of them. Absolutely love. I can't remember who the writer was. I think I wrote it down somewhere, but not on this sheet of paper. But they've been doing a great job with that character. Her issue number 13 comes out this week. I'll tell you what. If you're looking for something new and something a little different, I wouldn't say it's immensely different. I'm sorry, when I say immensely different, I mean like crazy unique. Okay. She's a mom who was an assassin before, and she's trying to, just live a normal life. She used to work for Talia al Ghul.
Yes, I've heard of this name.
Yes, and she's trying to bring her back into the fray. I'll tell you what, I always knew Talia was obviously evil because whether you've read the comics or started with what was it? The Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises, yeah.
She was obviously very evil in that as well, but she's totally. She kicks it up a notch in this series, and I really like her. And Honor Guest is the Silencer's, I guess, secret identity or whatever.
All right.
I'm a big fan of it.
I'm kind of getting like a Kill Bill type of vibe off this.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Wes. Haven't seen either of the Kill Bills.
Oh wow.
Yes, and
you got some homework to do, my friend.
I have a lot of homework.
It's okay. I haven't seen The Godfather. We went over this last week.
Yeah. You said you're never gonna see Godfather.
No, it's past that.
Absolutely absurd.
31. I think I'm okay.
We may need to watch it together just for the sake of the show and see how that goes.
Yeah, if I need a good nap, I'll make sure I'll let you know. I'll pop that on.
Okay. What is your? That's it for comics that I have this week. Batman Beyond is another one that I'm reading that comes out this week. But I'm not. I mean, that one's been fine. They're bringing Jokers around again. I haven't read the issue yet. I got to do that review.
Batman Beyond is getting a lot of buzz as a potential movie. Is that correct?
Because Michael Keaton could play the old Bruce Wayne.
Right.
I think it's a great move.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to be your Terry McGinnis, but I'm sure you could figure it out. But having Michael Keaton to play that role,
he's having a nice little renaissance for himself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Favorite Michael Keaton role? Multiplicity.
I would say
I'm getting the thumbs up from Tim over there.
I would probably say the other guys when he's quoting TLC every 5 seconds on screen. I appreciate that.
Okay. I haven't seen that movie, but I've heard good things about that.
It's pretty good. You know what? I thought it was good when it came out. I thought it was funny.
Wait, the other guys or the nice guys? Like the other guys with
I've never seen,
Will Ferrell?
Yes.
Oh, I have seen that. I didn't know he was in. He's the boss, isn't he?
He's the chief.
The chief. Yeah, that's right.
And then he's the chief who has
I gotta rewatch that movie.
A part-time job at Bed Bath & Beyond, I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's funny. Okay, I got to go back and watch that one.
What is it? Don't go chasing waterfalls. We don't want no scrubs.
Yeah, no scrubs.
Yes. Yeah. But anyways, what do you have for your Stay Woke of the week?
Yes, this is some sad news for conspiracy theorists out there. We all have to unite and I think band together in this trying times because YouTube has said that it will make conspiracy theory videos harder to find. On my notes, I have a little frowny face right after that. YouTube said on Friday, this past Friday, that it would promote fewer videos containing misinformation and conspiracy theories, a potentially significant step in reducing the service's potential to drive viewers toward extremist content.
Okay.
And a test limited to the U.S., the service said it would stop recommending what it calls borderline content, videos that come close to violating its community guidelines, but stop just short. So it said they would affect less than 1% of the content across platforms.
Okay, well that's good to hear.
But there's a whole bunch of like varying degrees of conspiracy theory videos out there. So I wonder exactly how much that is.
But if it's only 1%, Wes, don't you think maybe that it's going to be really the half that's like that? That's big for me. I did not know that part of the information at first.
I mean, and that's coming from YouTube. Who knows? You know,
well,
how much is available.
The good thing is you're going to know pretty quickly because you don't go into the crazy. Well, actually, no, you do because you brought up the frogs are gay.
It depends on how deep the rabbit hole I like to go down.
You can go pretty far down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't take the red pill sometimes.
Was the frogs are gay thing? Was that a
no? That's Alex Jones.
Right.
He was on like TV.
Oh my God.
Tim, am I wrong there? Tim, was Alex Jones like actually on television?
It might have been on his InfoWars TV channel.
Okay.
But he does have his own.
Was he ever on TV, or was it that just an own like internet radio?
I don't think he's had a television series like on a major network.
Okay.
But he does like this, where he has a video stream that goes with the radio show.
Right. Okay.
And but he has been a guest on other mainstream shows. You know, he's been on CNN, Fox News, all those stations. So.
Well, he gets views. You know, people because of how crazy he is.
Yeah, they'll put anybody on TV these days, Tim. Let's be real.
I mean. Look at this show.
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
Thanks, Dad.
Last thing on the YouTube. This is a quote from the people at YouTube. We'll begin reducing recommendations of borderline content and content that could misinform users in harmful ways, like videos promoting a phony miracle cure for a serious illness, claiming the Earth is flat. Sorry, Kyrie. Or making blatantly false claims about historic events like 9/11.
Wait a minute. They won't let people see something about a video about how the Earth is flat?
I guess not. So, I mean, that
how
seems
is that
like
a
that's
problem?
like spanning.
If you, like, we all know now, if like, okay, again, not to go too far into sports, but you listen to Kyrie Irving talk, like.
Or Steph Curry for that matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't hear Steph enough. I mean, I know the whole moon landing thing,
right.
But that's one that you kind of buy into, right?
Yeah, the flat Earth one, the moon landing.
The moon landing.
Yeah,
has Steph said about the
he was talking about the moon landing.
Yeah,
and then Kyrie was the flat Earth.
If you listen
I can't keep up with my NBA player conspiracies.
No, okay, that's what I thought it was. But if you listen to Kyrie talk for long enough, you start to realize, okay, like he's not nearly as smart as he thinks he is.
No, he probably just smoked a joint and came across a YouTube video and was like, "Whoa."
That could have happened, I guess. But I'm more thinking like when he's in a press conference and he's talking about his teammates, he will start talking. He'll say like words. Like he talks out of order almost at times. I know, and I know every time I criticize him for that, I start doing the same thing. I start getting all jumbled up. But it's the truth. Like he can't seem to. He tries to sound too smart, for like much smarter than he actually is.
Yeah,
and he uses words improperly.
And I know that.
Our friend Brendan Curry put it well. He said it's like it's almost like he uses a word of the day calendar. Yeah, and then he doesn't he doesn't read the definition of the word before he uses it.
Yeah, I've heard this. I got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're like a kid and you go and see that flat Earth thing and you probably bring it up with your parents at some point or something,
right? Or bring it up at school.
If that's my kid, I'll let him watch those videos and then they bring it up and say, "Yeah, those aren't real. There's no way the Earth is flat."
About it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I would probably scold him and say, "You're a moron if you think that that's real."
Well, it's all about positive reinforcement. You know, you don't want to break. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you're not my father. I'll tell you that much.
Did you get positive reinforcement as a kid?
No, I was left outside in the cold and the wind and the rain.
Oh, okay. You turned out
I'm
pretty.
wiping my ass with leaves.
You turned out to be a pretty positive person. All
well,
things
you know,
considered.
it's all a thinly veiled house of cards that are sticking together by blind optimism. And
speaking of House of Cards, is that show still on Netflix, or did they take it off?
I don't think so. I know Kevin Spacey.
I know they stopped. Like the show stopped.
Yeah.
Did they take it off Netflix?
I never watched it.
I heard it was awesome. My brother loved it.
I just can't go back and watch Kevin. Like, it's weird.
Yeah,
that's all I can think of.
It's a good thing you already know what happened in Usual Suspects, so you don't have to go and watch that again.
Yeah, it's an overrated movie.
That was.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I just wanted to see the look on your face.
That would have been. Oh
man. Let's get into this here, right? What do you say?
I'm ready. So I think that Billy Russo.
Yes. Now you saw everything.
Actually, I saw everything. Before we get into like the Billy Russo stuff, did you like The Punisher season 2, Wes?
Yeah. So Punisher season 2 is 13 episodes. They're roughly 55 minutes apiece. It's the second season of picking up off of The Punisher season 1, which is based on the MCU character of the same name, revolving around Frank Castle saving a girl from being murdered, forcing him to decide if he should embrace his life as the Punisher. That's
by the way, we're
overview.
Spoiling the hell out of this, everybody, just as a reminder.
This was from the Wikipedia.
No, I know, but I'm letting you know now.
Right
it's fair. Everything's fair game. We're not messing around. So, what would
it's too long. It was decent.
Mm-hmm.
Out
of a 10,
that's my problem. Like out of 10,
with 0.5s included. 0.5s included.
5.5.
5.5 out of 10.
Yeah, the action keeps me going, but everything's so drawn out.
God. Okay.
It's like, I don't know if this is a thing that Netflix like mandates for all of their content, but 13 1-hour-long episodes to tell a Punisher story is way too long.
No,
that's what shows. Yeah, there is. I don't care about half the stuff they're talking about.
If it was just the Punisher, then I would agree with you 100%.
I don't care about anyone else. That was my problem.
How do you not care about anybody else in that show?
No,
how do you not care about Bill Russo in that show? He is the most compelling character in the entire show.
We'll get into that in the moment, but you keep it to Billy Russo, you keep it to the Pilgrim, you keep it to Frank Castle, and you keep it to
Madani,
the girl. Yeah. The girl, what's her name?
Why am I drawing
the young girl?
Why am I drawing a blank? Her name, Amy.
Yeah,
Amy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And you keep it to Curtis. Mm-hmm. And you keep that world small, but I don't have to know about everyone's backstory. Like everything kind of ran perpendicular to one another. Like a lot of the storylines didn't cross over well.
Okay.
I just thought they spent way too much time on Billy Russo's recovery.
Yeah, it is Amy, by the way. I just double-checked my notes.
Okay.
I got 13 pages of notes, everybody, just so you know.
If it was eight episodes at an hour long, great.
Yeah, okay.
Then it's action-packed. See, 13 episodes is I don't need that long.
When I first saw that it was 13 episodes, I was like, man, they're really pushing it here with this. I never felt like it was slow. I think there was one episode that was like, I don't know, this is kind of brutal, but you know what? Billy Russo made the episode. I went in as some may or may not know, I reviewed this before it came out to the masses for Geeks Worldwide, who is kind enough to host our show on their podcast.
Yes.
On their website, and iTunes, Stream, and SoundCloud if you want to listen there. I went and ranked like every episode out of 10, each one. There was one in particular, I believe it was episode, I have it written down somewhere and I can't seem to find it in my mess of notes. I think it was episode 4. Yep, episode 4. I have the wrong pages of notes. This episode, I was like, wow, this is where it's going to go. We're going to start seeing no action. Nothing cool is going to happen. Nobody's dying. If I'm watching a Punisher show, I want to see people dying, or at least damn near close.
Well, and
Russo
get some
saves
of
that episode. Russo saves that. You get a lot of that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you get a lot of killing. Yeah, that's what I mean. You get a lot of fight scenes and stuff.
I went and ranked the top 10 Marvel fight scenes in the Marvel Netflix universe. I'm not going to go and say what my list is yet. You have to check out Screen Rant for that. But I think that the weight room scene was awesome.
Yeah, that's my top fight scene.
The bar fight scene
out of season 2.
The bar fight scene is awesome.
Yeah,
the bathroom.
That's
scene,
right out of the gates.
Yep, and then there's the bathroom scene, which is separate from the bar fight right before it. That one's also awesome too.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That one didn't stick with me as much.
How did that one not stick with you?
I don't know. It's just not sticking out. Like I watched the big brunt of it over the weekend. Like I'd already seen the first 2 episodes, I think, and then I saw 3 through 12, 11. Like I didn't even finish the whole thing. Wes
didn't even finish the whole damn show. He knows what happens at the end.
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't watch the whole thing. Care.
I loved the Collision Course episode, which I think is episode 10, with the Pilgrim chasing down Madani.
You want to talk about a character who I didn't need? It's the Pilgrim.
Well, let's do this.
Okay.
You think
the best character in the second season of The Punisher, and I would even argue the entire series of The Punisher, is Billy Russo. Change my mind, Wes.
Number 1, I have he's a sorry boy beta cuck. That's number 1. Number 2, he's a whiny little bitch, and the show spends way too much time around his storyline and Dr. Krista Dumont. It drags, and it's just uninteresting.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I just don't get what her point is. The Mask is horrible.
What do you okay.
The Mask is absolutely horrible. It's just like...
I'm not going to argue the Mask with you.
Like, how much did they already spend on special effects before they're like, oh, run down to the Halloween store and go grab a mask because we're running low on budget right now. And it's not even needed. His face is fine. He got carved to pieces. His face was a bloody pulp by the end of season 1, and he comes back looking hotter in season 2.
Oh, you think he looks better with those scars?
Yeah, he's got a couple of scars on his face. Everyone looks at him like the what's his name? The veteran who's there at the bar. And he looks up and he's supposed to be scared, and it's like, no, you just got a couple scrapes on your face, dude. Like,
those are not scrapes. Those are huge cuts. And dude, you know what it is? You know what the problem is? We as Americans have become desensitized to this crap. Because if you saw a guy like that in a bar who you didn't know, you'd say, "Oh, Nick, I got to go on the other side of the room. This guy looks nuts." You
referenced the Russian fight scene. Mm-hmm. Do you know the last scene where they show Frank punching him with the weight? And you see his face, like that's what he looked like. That's what he should look like. His face should have been mutilated by the end of season 1. Like he should be looking like more like Two-Face from The Dark Knight than anything.
I saw the artist Boss Logic on Instagram went and did like his own like fan art or whatever. Yeah. He does an awesome job. Not that he needs our help with in terms of publicity, but
I'll check him out. I didn't hear of him.
I'll show you afterwards. He went and just made it a little bit more intense, and I liked that look. I thought you could have gone that way, but I don't think it needed to go as far as you're talking about.
Deadpool-esque?
No, I don't need. I mean, look, I can understand why you do that. I don't need that though.
It was just weak. Like I didn't buy that his face. Like, all right, it doesn't even matter. And also, the whole memory loss shtick from an audience perspective falls flat on its face because he's wondering why Frank hates him, and you end the whole season just by someone telling him, "Hey, you murdered his family," and you're like, "Oh, okay, I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. I probably deserve this." That ends the show. It ends. Period.
The abruptness of that, I can understand how that would bother you, but were those all your points?
Yeah, that was about the most of it, yeah. And he gets laid. That's my one redeeming quality. The dude gets laid.
He does.
He dips into the brown sugar way too much.
Billy Russo
Not that that's a bad thing. I don't mean that.
Is an absolute ladies' man for sure. But my thing is, dude, the memory loss is part of what powers his insanity because he's lost his mind. He has no idea who he really is.
Why doesn't someone just tell him?
Because he can't begin to process that because he is so broken and he is so poorly scarred from what happened before. And at the same time,
poorly scarred though.
What?
those are well-placed scars.
Mentally poorly scarred, Wes. Okay, you ever heard of that before when someone is scarred?
Yeah, PTSD. Yes, I get it. That's one of the overall themes of both seasons.
That is the biggest theme with Bill Russo. And do you want Bill Russo to know who he was? Right now, at first, it seemed like he was
then maybe he'd embrace his role. That's the whole thing that we find out with Frank Castle is that he's like embracing who he is as a person. And if you just tell, because all he wants to do is know who he is.
That's my other thing. He does not need to be the killer that he was. Like, I love it, and I don't want him to be
Frank Castle?
I don't want him to be this happy-go-lucky guy, but he does not need to be that. He was plenty happy with Beth in the short time that they shared together, and he would have continued to be happy with her.
Nah, but he was looking for the fight there.
He was looking for the fight because he said it, though. It was because it was a damsel in distress. It had nothing to do with the fact that it was just someone in trouble. If it was a guy.
No, but
he was a guy who would let it go.
He says it was a damsel in distress. I think that's an excuse. Because the whole.
Based on what?
Well, will you let me finish a sentence or?
Go, please go ahead. Sorry, so sorry to interrupt.
So Frank Castle he is figuring out later in the season that he is who he is. And there's this great scene, I believe it was when he's in the hospital and he's talking to Karen Page and Amy and Madani, and he's saying, "You're not like me. I'm a different person." And he kind of has this like superhero speech.
Because he's in
and he's like, "I can do things that other people can't," and he can live with them. So he's coming to accept who he is. He thought he could hide and like leave town and leave New York City, and his problems wouldn't follow him, but he brings his own demons with him, and that's what he's understanding.
Okay.
And if you just said that to bring it back to Billy Russo, if they just told him from the jump, hey, this is what you did, this is why Frank did this to you, then you could understand who he is, and maybe he could be like, well, maybe I am the villain, maybe I am the bad guy, and then fully embrace that. But instead, he's just whining the whole time. But you don't understand me. I don't remember. Because I got cut up in my face.
Because you know why? Because you know why, Wes? The scars are not that important in the grand scheme of things, because that's not what messes someone up so much when they come back from war or any traumatic experience. Is what's going on in their head. And you have Billy Russo, who is a guy that was cool as a cucumber. He was a cool guy. He was a boss. Don't drink next to the mic anymore.
Oh, you heard that one?
Oh, I totally heard it.
Sorry, guys. You gotta stay hydrated out there, kids.
But he was as cool as anybody in the first season. I'd say he was cooler than Frank. I almost said Luke Cage. Than Frank Castle in the first season. He had a way about him, he had an air about him.
That's not anyone. No, he has an air, like a smugness. Like, you think that's cool? I think he's like a douchebag.
First of all, he was great
John
with Madani.
Bernthal was cool because he's a family man.
Oh,
who kicks ass.
God, who's moral and all. Yeah, okay.
He's more code about him. I respect that.
He's really not that much of a family man, though, if he can't go and, put that aside and then try and have a family. Bill Russo was true to he was. I'm a stone cold killer. I'm not a good dude, and that's just me. He was real. You want to go and make an argument? Then there you go.
Maybe from season 1, but that gets all lost.
Because he got messed up, dude. Because you saw what happened at the end of season 1. His face got smashed in where he's getting all that head trauma. And now he can't be that guy anymore.
I don't buy it because his face looks fine.
And you know what I have a soft spot for? I'm going to be honest. Whenever a character can on a dime just start screaming like that, where they just they start getting those
overacting. I
those
even think
nervous ticks and those nervous
job.
twitches. I don't know why, but that really I don't know. I really appreciate that. Maybe it's because I have nervous ticks. I don't know.
All this guy Ben Barnes, is that the actor's name? All he does is play D-bags.
Who else? What other roles?
He plays a D-bag in Westworld season 1. I'm not sure if he's in season 2. I've kind of fell off in season 2.
Who? I never watched Westworld. I heard it's good.
Yeah, it's okay.
There's another show that there's a lot of shows that I apparently need to watch.
But the guys I liked ahead of I had him number 4, Billy Russo, on my list, and it's Frank Castle. We already touched on a lot of my points about.
I can understand why someone would like him more. I can understand that.
It's great because it's the constant of grappling of who he is and who he always was and what he's transformed into. But it's not what he's transformed into. It's always who he was, and he was just trying to suppress that.
But see, he has a choice. Bill Russo doesn't have a choice anymore because he's so messed up in his head.
No, he had a choice. If someone just was straight with him, like, I don't know what that Dr. Dumont was all about.
She was unbelievable. She was wacko.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say she was. I wouldn't say she was. I don't know if I'd say she was a great character.
No.
But she was. I actually appreciate her addition. And Madani was way better this season too.
No, Madani was just the worst cop ever. She just screwed everything up.
I think Mahoney was one who screwed most of the stuff up.
Yeah, but she didn't do. They wouldn't be in this situation if she had to lie.
They wouldn't be in this situation if Frank had just killed him.
Well, I agree.
Oh, now you're gonna live with your scars for the rest of your life. Why don't you just kill him, dude, and have it be done?
Listen, I agree with you on that one. Another person I wanted to see more of is John Pilgrim, played by Josh Stewart.
Overrated.
He's a classic boogeyman role. Added a nice layer of complexity to him. as a white supremacist turned Amish preacher assassin.
Yeah, but he's,
you know,
he's
like, you don't hear that every day.
See, but you know, my thing, it's the same thing that happened with me in Daredevil at times. I like Daredevil a lot. The whole concept of, you know, I'm a religious man, but at the same time, I'm trying to do all these kind of violent things to keep peace, and then so that way we can be happy and get to, you know, there's an end game to it all, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like if you're going to do that, you have to have like a Billy Russo badass type of way about you, or Frank Castle. More so Frank Castle.
No, I loved the cool demeanor, very calculated, never spoke. Like, you know who my favorite president is?
No.
I haven't had this conversation with you. It's Teddy Roosevelt. Do you know why Teddy Roosevelt is my favorite?
Walk quietly and carry a big stick?
Yes.
Yeah, was that why?
Speak softly and carry a big stick. I'm a big proponent of that.
Right, but there are certain...
And Billy Russo doesn't do that at all.
No, he doesn't do that
John
at all.
Pilgrim
He's very
does that.
slick,
Frank
though.
Castle does that.
Frank Castle, yeah.
He doesn't just talk about it. No, he bees about it.
No, fine. Okay, I see what your point is. Yes, yeah. No, that's fair. But my thing is that I just feel like the actor was just... I don't know. I wasn't believing that he was a badass when I looked at him. Like that's part of my problem.
That's what I think I liked, because he's unsuspecting, and then he just comes out at you, and then bam, gun to the head.
I felt like they gave him too much screen time.
I kind of see him as like a mirror opposite of Frank Castle, and that they both have ends to justify the means sort of thing. They're doing this to, in theory, get back to your family or right whatever's wrong in your life, and there's seemingly an end goal. Frank Castle, not so much, but to a certain degree, I see that. And so I think that helps you kind of relate to the character a little bit more. So much like we were talking about with Thanos, like when you can actually understand where the villain is coming from in this.
Okay.
I didn't see that
that's a good point
with Billy Russo.
That's a fair point that he was... and then it goes back to Marvel once again. There's always that criticism, whether it's Netflix or the shows, that you're basically your villains are the same thing basically as your heroes.
Thank you.
And I don't think that's necessarily a problem though. It's made entertaining products for the most part.
No, but I think it's good to have a different, like something to change it up so it's not predictable. Like the introduction of Michael Keaton and in the Spider-Man movie, you know, when he first opened up that door and you realize that he's the bad guy, you know, they both see him, but it's the father, you know, like that's a great reveal.
I thought Kingpin in Daredevil, he's a great villain too. I don't think him and Daredevil are...
I didn't get through all of Daredevil.
Which season you didn't get through all of?
The third one, the newest one.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like it? Dude, what the hell?
They just move so slow. It's like 13 episodes. I'm telling you, you don't need to do this, Netflix.
13 episodes might have been too much for Daredevil season 3, but it's still a good show. I don't know. What else? See, my thing is, what else is out there that's that much better that's pulling you away from it?
I watch The Office and Parks and Recreation all the time.
Oh, dude.
I watch it on replay all the time. It's like I come home and I hang out with my friends. It's like, I don't know. That sounds really loserish to say. But I love hanging out and watching Parks and Rec, or
Parks and Rec's great.
Like on in the background too, so I can kind of do other stuff or like surf on the web on my phone.
Yeah,
or whatever.
unless I have like a show that I'm like that's currently ongoing, I don't really like to have the TV on when I'm hanging with friends, or if I'm watching sports.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. I don't, or a movie, something like that. I don't want to.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go and watch reruns of Parks and Rec unless I'm like, I got to be really.
Oh no,
with my
I
friends.
I just like having it on.
Oh, you just like having it on as background noise.
That's what I mean. Like I'm like hanging out with my friends. Like not like I'm hanging out with my friends and watching the show. It's like I'm hanging out with my friends when I watch the show.
Oh, but
like they're my friends.
But you're not watching Daredevil with.
I'm a loser. Like there's no people around when I say that. Like the people on the show are my friends. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not sitting around a table watching new episodes of reruns of Parks and Rec with my friends. Like no, they are my friends.
Oh man, okay, yep, yeah, I get it now. That was a bit of that was something else. I'll give you that.
That's Talking Depression with Wesley Sykes.
I don't, and I can't. Curtis is a good character.
Curtis is awesome.
He does a very good job. He takes it. Obviously gets a bigger role this series. I like what he did. I like what Madani did. Amy was really, really friggin' annoying at first.
Yeah,
but she ended up getting better. And I think the doctor.
I had a question on Madani there. Why is she just hanging out in Billy Russo's bed while he's in a coma or whatever? In his room, just standing over him. Like, like a scorned lover. Like
she is a scorned lover.
Yeah, but you just get like
That's exactly what
you
she
kill
is.
him or you move on, right? Let's go. You're not just going to stand there and be like, I'm going to wait for you, and you're going to give me an answer of why you screwed me over.
Dude, we've seen so many times in these Marvel Netflix shows that the cops in the shows are idiots.
Oh, they're awful.
Doesn't matter if you're a cop or if you're an FBI agent or CIA, whatever it is.
They do not have a good
Homeland
view
Security.
of law enforcement here in the country. That is
Apparently,
that's anything we learn
or at
from
least
this.
the people in Marvel Netflix, they don't. Yeah.
Right. Well, if that's how they view the law enforcement.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Yes. But I thought Madani was. See, the thing is, Wes, that I like characters who have this psychotic edge to them, where they can go in such a random direction afterwards at any time, and it doesn't necessarily have to be where they're always like true to who they were before or whatever. But once you start losing your mind, I mean, isn't that why the Joker is such a compelling character to everybody? Because he could just at any moment do anything.
Well,
that's why Heath Ledger
pump the
was so
brakes
good.
on the Joker comparison with Billy Russo here. I think that's pretty blasphemous.
People did try and draw the line that this is Marvel's Harley Quinn and in the Joker. I saw that somewhere.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, it is like a similar storyline.
It is, right?
I've read that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch for the Doctor, but you know what, man? When he stabbed her in the leg, right? Or she stabbed him in the hand. That's what it was. She stabs him in the hand, and then they get it on. I was just like,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What am
like,
I
all like the
watching?
weird scar stuff where they're like grabbing on the scars.
Because at that moment, I'm like, the Doctor seems to I'm forgetting her name, and I shouldn't. Dumont, thank you.
I have her name, Krista Dumont, played by
Dumont.
Floriana Lima.
She did a great job, and after a while, I'm like, she's kind of got a thing for him. Actually, I sensed it a little too early on, I think.
I thought it was like from the get-go. I was like,
yeah,
I'm surprised they waited that long. The sexual tension, you can cut it with a knife. A hot knife through butter.
I did not expect her to just go absolutely nuts. And then her and Madani, dude. The fact, by the way, I would have thought she would have died from that fall.
Yeah.
I don't see how.
Yeah, and it's interesting she got pushed out the window, and that's like what was her fear that she was holding back.
Yeah, because that happened with her and her dad.
Yeah.
He was depressed and everything like that. But her being insane, I don't get. Like, I get where it came from, kind of. But even then, it's still like, no, this doesn't make sense. Her insanity was a bit of a reach, but I didn't hate it, because anytime you get a character that's insane and has some level of power, it's just, where is this going to go?
Right.
They're insane and fearless, actually, more so than power. Yeah. That's when it's awesome, because I think Billy Russo, to an extent, he always was fearless because to hide his actual insecurities. But this is where he kind of starts to lose that, because he doesn't have that extra layer of like evil. That he had before.
Did you read the comics?
That's a word. Not the Punisher. No, I've not read much of the Punisher,
because I was trying to get a read on what Billy Russo looked like in the comics with the scars.
Totally disfigured, totally messed up.
Why couldn't they do that?
I told you, because it's not about that. Because it's not about that. Because there's so much more
in a show that is predicated off of physical violence and watching all this stuff happen.
What did you?
You fill it in with my mind's eye. Don't make me guess and think you're so smart and be like, oh, well, it's not. It's the mental scars that are the worst.
What are you gonna focus on most if you see a disfigured dude, whatever his personality is? You're gonna focus on the fact that that guy's messed up. You're not gonna focus on the acting job. You're not gonna focus on the content, right?
No, I think it was a good job. It's a good job. The same thing happened with Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool. His face was all disfigured the whole time. He was hysterical.
How often do you see his face, though?
Well, enough.
No. Compared to this guy, you're going to see his face all the time.
Okay. So that's fine. You get used to it. It's 13 episodes, hour-long episodes. You have plenty of time.
We're making this argument the whole time, and really, at the end of it all, it probably has to do with the fact that it's like, kids are going to watch this too, and it's streaming. Anybody can watch it.
No.
Oh, well, think about
with the gratuitous violence in there, that is where the line is drawn. Like, no, we can't make his face too mutilated, but we can shoot people with women with AK-40. There more women died in this show than anything. That wasn't alarming to you?
Look, my thing is that you see Freddy Krueger go and carve, you see his face.
Yeah. That's
going to stick with the kid a lot longer than what the Punisher did in this show.
I don't know, man.
Dude, they play Call of Duty and all that stuff. This stuff has desensitized us. His face, if you see Billy Russo, if you see Barnes, it was Ben Barnes, right? Ben Barnes in real life, and his face is like that, you're gonna look at him like, oh, geez, I don't want to. What's up with this guy? Like, I don't want to. Why is he looking at me? Geez, I got to get out of here.
It could have been worse.
Of course, it could have been worse. I don't think it needed to be worse.
I disagree.
I don't. Well, that's the beauty of this show.
Yes,
because we're not gonna agree on the.
And we're gonna, I think you tried to change my mind. I think you tried.
You tried to change. The whole thing was you tried to change my mind.
Well, yeah, but
when you failed that,
I think the major flaw of this show is that we are both too hard-headed to really come around and change our mind.
I think that's the whole point of the show.
Yes.
Although last time, I'm pretty sure I did change your mind.
But I won that argument via Twitter. Twitter, I did come out 60-40 victorious. A whole 10 votes there, 6-4.
You don't need to tell people how many voted. That's one thing you got to learn in podcast world.
That's true. Yeah. Did I say 10? I meant 10,000.
We had plenty of people who listened. We know it was more than that. And we had people that saw our videos because people are retweeting us.
Yes.
So I'm not worried about that. They will find us, Wes. Don't worry.
If you build it,
nerds will come.
Yes. Absolutely. Come hard. No, that's just,
that's not right.
That's not right.
Is that a Field of Dreams porno, maybe?
Yes. Field of Cream, actually. In my pastime, porno movie titles was one of my favorite things. Well, I used to live in a house that had no heat and no electricity. We were kind of squatting. This was like post-college. Which is a whole nother long story that goes into it, but we were pretty much living in squalor for 8 months, and to pass the time, we would drink a lot and then come up with like porno movie titles.
So you guys had 4 walls?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I lived in a cardboard box and we couldn't even afford a 3rd wall.
Oh, see, now you're just making fun of the homeless, which in this time of the year is not.
No, I was going for a Deadpool 1 reference.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, that is how Wade and Vanessa fell in love with one another.
I stand corrected.
Oh, you had a family? I was raised by a pack of hyenas.
Yes, that's right. Oh, they go back and forth.
I don't think that was one of their
quotes. That's good foreplay right there.
Yes, it was.
I think it's my nips hard, like homelessness.
She's a dime, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like the best. That's like peak. Moreno? What's her name? Moreno?
I think Moreno's her. Yeah, not Vanessa. That's her Vanessa in the show. She's. I like her in Gotham too. She goes. That's another person. She goes absolutely bananas in Gotham too.
Okay. I never got into Gotham. Not a big guy. The guy from the OC is on there, and I wasn't really a big fan of his.
The OC?
Yeah, he's the Commissioner
Jim Gordon. I can't remember what his name is, but I know what you're talking. I did not know he was in the OC.
Yeah,
I can't say that I ever watched that show.
I think we're wrapping up here, so I think just to put a bow on this Punisher conversation, did you like it?
I loved it. I give it a 9.5 out of 10.
9 best Netflix.
Yep.
Netflix Marvel series.
Yep.
Ugh. I don't know about that one.
And I think Daredevil 3 is right behind it.
Well, okay. Well, that's neither here nor there.
Daredevil 2.
I was like 5.5. 5.5.
Luke Cage 2 is good.
Luke Cage is awful. Dude, like season 1 was better than season 2.
What? Dude, how did you not like the action in season 2?
Nah.
Wait a minute. That scene with Iron Fist and Luke Cage?
Okay, great. Give me the whole season of that in 8 episodes at 45 minutes. And then we'll have a conversation.
There are definitely times where they should do 8 episodes, and they get that wrong.
Defenders, they did that right, but yet they have all these characters.
That was not that series was one of the more disappointing ones. Actually,
I understand, but the format of it, the 8 episodes.
Did you like that one more than you liked Daredevil and?
Yeah.
There you go. This is perfect.
The grabassery.
Again,
that's what I'm here for.
This is what the show's about. We are 2 friends who like the same stuff, but could not. Think about it differently, more differently.
We come from 2 sides of a different coin.
Yeah.
Now, one of these weeks, I'm gonna nail it.
Hopefully, you never do.
That's gonna be our first shirt. It's just like keep screwing up that quote and then like crossing it out and then be like, no, we'll try next week.
So what, Wes? What else has been on your mind?
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice segue. Thank you very much as we wrap up here. I've been watching mid-90s. It's the 2018 coming of age comedy drama film written and directed by Jonah Hill in his directorial debut. Oh. It's very Lords of Dogtown-esque, like Southern California skateboard, early, like mid-90s, obviously. So it's very music-driven, very like a lot of pop culture references with like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bed sheets, which I think everyone kind of had at that point in time and stuff. Like all the different like Street Fighter 2 shirts. So there's a lot of cool like Americana stuff.
You know what I found the other day? Real quick side note: I found my old Ryu, the main character, the old action figure. I still have that, and Ken too, the blonde guy.
Yeah. I was a big Gian.
Was he the big dude with the beard?
No, he was an army guy that Jean-Claude Van Damme played.
Yeah, okay, yep.
I forget what his name, but it began with a G. But anyway, this movie is a great movie. It's nice. It's kind of like melodramatic. It's not like kind of super bad or any of the other movies that Jonah Hill's in. It's very like melodrama. And it follows a 13-year-old boy who begins to hang out with an older group of skateboarders while living in 1990s Los Angeles. Hits close to home to me because it talks about what it's like for a middle school age kid trying to fit in and be cool. And like I think everyone kind of has that awkward moment where like you have a group that you want to be a part of, or like what you have a choice of. Are you a jock, or are you a skateboarder, or you're a nerd, or like whatever cliche that you want to kind of fall into. So I think that resonates. Like I went to a high school where I didn't know anyone. I didn't just go to like the public high school.
Oh, right, yeah, you didn't.
And the same thing, obviously, with college. I would imagine you had a little different of an experience. You have a nice set group where you played baseball.
When I went to college,
you always kind of knew what you were getting into. Sort of thing.
You definitely had a group. But yeah, I can see how that would be an issue though. Definitely.
Yeah, so it's an interesting time. And it's all about innocence lost too.
Yeah.
That's the one of the
time's
oldest storyline.
That's what it always comes back to with U.S. Well, with
loss of innocence.
I more so meant just something sexual.
Well, I just mean that in general. Adam and Eve is about a loss of innocence. Like that's like one of the original story tropes.
Right. Yes. The original sin is thou shalt not eateth this apple.
Wow. Well, you can eateth these nuts though, huh? How about that? I'm here all night. Tip your bartenders, ladies and gentlemen.
We're actually here for a few more minutes.
I know, that's true.
So here's what's been on my mind. So one of the series, I'm reading a ton of series. I'm going to keep you guys updated on all of them, as you've probably noticed by now. One writer that I did want to highlight, Kelly Thompson, who's been around for a little bit, I believe, but my first thing that I read from her was not so much because of her, but because of the characters involved. It was Gambit and Rogue finally getting their own like mini series. So nice. it was actually titled Rogue and Gambit, not Gambit and Rogue, which I think is part of all women being put a little bit more to the forefront.
Sure,
and I think that there's an argument to be made that Rogue is the more dynamic character.
Without question.
I'm sorry, she is the more dynamic character. I don't know if she's the more popular character necessarily, but I mean Gambit's my guy. I love him, and because of that, I love Rogue.
Plays an integral role in a lot of the series. Especially in the first movie too. Obviously,
they totally don't do her justice in the movies. Totally don't do her justice. She's it's just her powers, and they're limited because you need Carol Danvers and all that, and they didn't have the rights. Although if they had just said she has these powers because she has these powers, like she's super strong and basically indestructible, then I don't think anybody would have cared. They'd rather have that than what we got, because that was brutal. But she writes those two characters out so well. She gets their relationship is the main focus of the show, of the book, obviously. And now it's turned into, from a mini series of Rogue and Gambit, to Mr. and Mrs. X, because they are now married. I love how she handles their dynamic. It's frustrating at times. That's always what it is. But she stayed true to what both the characters are. I think sometimes Rogue might be a little more whiny than I would have expected, but at the same time, that's what Gambit kind of brings out in her, because he cares about her so much, because she's not used to that, people loving her in the way that he does, and he's just, I mean, he's one of the ultimate badasses there is, ultimate cool guys. I'm not a huge fan of the art in the books. I think that I don't know, the features of the characters are a little too soft.
Okay.
And it gives Rogue an innocence. I get that, but Remy LeBeau is the opposite of innocent.
No, you want a down south bayou boy.
Yes, now there's some gators now.
Is that what you got there? Now is that like your?
I don't have much else other than that.
It's my Michael Scott doing a Southern impression. I declare.
I was trying to do more the coach from The Waterboy.
Oh yeah.
Who speaks? He supposedly speaks Cajun.
Right.
But anyways, that's pretty much what's been on my mind, Wes. Why don't you tell the people where they can consume this show outside of the WBSM YouTube channel?
Well, outside of the WBSM YouTube channel, which is a great place to start.
It's the only place you can see us.
Yes. So if you enjoy two faces made for radio on the big screen, then
speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, face for radio, voice for print. I think that's what my father always used to say. But you can find us. The Change My Mind podcast can be found on Spotify, Google Play, Overcast, Spreaker, Anchor, Radio FM, and Pocket Casts. That one's important.
And you can find us on SoundCloud and iTunes under the Geeks Worldwide umbrella.
Yes.
We will have our own iTunes eventually, but
hopefully soon, maybe.
Hopefully soon.
I don't understand what the holdup is. Apparently, we got to have a couple episodes in the bank, but that'll be coming with more content.
It makes sense after I kind of worked out in my head afterwards with my other my baseball podcast.
Right. Yes.
For those that are from the Cape West,
yeah,
that care about the high school sports, we might as well.
We might as well give a free plug there. Yeah. So if you're interested in the high school sports, in Cape Cod and even southeastern Massachusetts, I would say, south of Boston, the Cape Cod Sportscast, good place to go. Covering a lot of hockey and hoops right now. You can find that on anywhere that you can find, listen to podcasts. You can follow me on Twitter at Wesley Sykes _. And Nick, where can the people find you?
You can find me. So if you want sports, find me at Nick _Fryer. If you want all this kind of stuff, all the geek stuff, Fry _Guy #1. Just the #1, not #1 written out.
Now, can I make a suggestion on that Twitter handle?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm open to it.
Supersize Fry Guy 1.
So
like a supersize Fry Guy 1.
Oh, so make the
like
Fry
extra large.
So all caps.
Oh, well, no. I guess it could be.
Well, what do you mean then?
Like a supersize Fry? You don't go to like McDonald's or anything?
I mean, yeah,
like supersize.
But how would I supersize it? I'm thinking like
that would be your handle.
Supersize Fry Guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I not being clear in this?
No, I thought you meant
supersize Fry Guy.
I don't know why you're saying supersize Fry Guy. Why throw in the supersize?
Because you're large and in charge.
Okay. And also, I'm going to give my other podcast a free plug.
Yes.
Seems Legit, my baseball podcast, where we talk about, basically, it's a similar thing to this. We talk about old baseball teams, and we argue about which ones would win.
And it's fun. It's a nice little look at nostalgia.
Exactly. And we talk about current baseball stuff, too, just like on this show.
News and notes, yeah.
This is Wes's and I, baby, and if you can leave a rating where you listen to us, please do. We obviously prefer the 5 stars. And if you can leave a review, that would be
nice.
great. We will have a poll out for you guys as well on iTunes.
Yes.
At
Change My Mind Pod.
Yes, on Twitter. You can follow us there. That's the only place we are right now. No Facebook or anything like that. Keeping it nice and simple for you guys.
Yes, and for us.
Oh, definitely for us. That is absolutely the most important thing in all this, Wes, as I get this outro music ready. What?
Yeah, until next week, we have a topic TBA, so keep an eye on our Twitter.
That's right. Yeah, we got to let people know about that.
We'll figure it out on Twitter. You keep an eye out, and we got you covered.
We'll definitely let you know before the weekend.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's for sure. All right.
Beautiful. Till then.
Till then.